Alright, right now I'm going to be taking a look at Musketeers of Pig Alley, a 1912 film from pioneering film director D.W. Griffith. The film centers on a young wife and her musician husband living in poverty in New York City. The husband can barely make enough money to keep the two of them and the elderly woman living with them afloat. One day he is robbed by a gangster, and their stories intertwine from there. Today I'm going to analyze a frame, a shot, and a scene from Musketeers of Pig Alley, one of the first gangster films. Along with its action sequences and gunfights, one of the innovations of Musketeers of Pig Alley was its cinematography. When looking at this frame, that innovation can be seen. This frame was particularly innovative because the actor was not in the middle of the screen. We see him and his fellow gangster up against the right side of the screen. He is almost looking directly into the camera. This was startling for its time. This was one of the first instances where the characters broke the fourth wall, so to speak, and looked directly into the camera. One of the main things about the cinematography is that the actors are always filling the screen. Whether it is the alley scenes or the city scenes, there are actors filling the screen. The actors are not only in the middle, but on the edges and in the depth of the background. This particular frame also does something for the viewer. The close-up of the man puts him right there in front of you. There's something completely different from the stage experience that the viewers were used to. These actors weren't just to be looked at, no, these ones were coming right at you and into your laps. This inserts a sense of realism into what they are watching. This was a cinematic experience that separated the movies from the stage. It is also a good example of how cinematographers work in thirds. They do not put their subject right in the middle of the screen because they know the viewer's eyes will move to the other parts of the screen. So they put the subject in 1/3 of the screen, so the viewer's eye will go to that part and stay there. This is commonly done, even in today's movies and television. So this is probably one of the first instances of a cinematographer working in thirds. So along with its innovations in set design and special effects, cinematography is another one of Musketeers of Pig Alley's innovations. This particular shot of Musketeers of Pig Alley is a beautiful example of set design and cinematography. Because of the heavy cameras, camera movement was very difficult, so all of the shots are fixed camera shots. This shot shows the great scene of an alley. The alley is filled to the brim with extras, and you can almost feel the grime of the city while watching. This is where the gangster and the musician first cross paths. We see the gangster lurk his way in from the right. The cigarette smoke announces his entrance. The musician stumbles in from the left, and the movie takes off from here. This is a great example of Griffith filling the screen and using the realistic city atmosphere to help give the movie an authentic feel. The actors are not only in the middle, but on the edges and in the depth of the background. There are almost too many people. This helps put a realistic, grimy, and overcrowded feeling to the movie, just like the city it's set in. And finally, what is any gangster movie without a gunfight? The two rival gangs meet in a final confrontation. The tension builds as both gangs stalk across the screen. It is obvious as both gangs slink and sneak their way along that something big is coming. The gang members look as if they are coming right at you as they stalk up the right side of the screen until they are right in your lap. This was innovative for its time as it brought a whole new experience to entertainment that the stage could not offer. The gangster looks straight into the camera and the audience is put right into the action. As I talked about when analyzing the frame, this was a groundbreaking shot as it showed the potential of the close-up in cinematography. This alley looks familiar, except now with no people in it. The rival gang hides as the anticipation of confrontation hits its brim. The other gang stalks in and the guns are about to come out blazing. In a barrage of gun smoke, the firefight starts, and the audience is treated to some of the finest special effects that 1912 has to offer. The musician comes in to find the fight already happening. He happens to find the gangster that stole his money and is able to recover his filled purse before getting away to return to his wife. In come the police to stop and break up the firefight. The lead gangster is almost captured by the police, but manages to get away by throwing dust in the officers' eyes and lives to fight another day. And that concludes my analysis of The Musketeers of Pig Alley, directed by D.W. Griffith from the year 1912.